With over 25 years' experience, Mason Gallery are experts in the field of Aboriginal art. With its distinguished reputation and long-standing relationships with Aboriginal artists, Mason Gallery are able to bring clientele some of the finest Indigenous art in Australia.
Probably today I'm fussier because I see a lot, but there's definitely pieces that I'm absolutely stoked about. You know, I had a red, black and white Lorna Brown not long ago. I think I always like it when I can see something that's taken another step. That's sort of very exciting.
For 2 decades, the Mason family lived alongside Aboriginal people in Arnhem Land, the Mason children growing up with the local community. The family is widely recognised as having gained unique cultural acceptance from the local clans.
Well, in 1982, my family went to live in Owen Pally Aboriginal community. We went there with the great expectations of enjoying the bush. The Aboriginal people were quite pleased that we wanted to join in with their activities.
So when they opened Mason Aboriginal Fine Art Gallery in Darwin in 1997, after running Arnhem Land Art since 1985, they did so with a deep understanding of the art and long-term relationships based on trust and mutual respect with the artists.
Well, the whole reason people paint is to pass on a story to their children. Where they come from, how they should behave, what they should do, what life is about. Otherwise it would all be lost.
Mason Gallery is unique in that it stocks large-scale works and exclusively represents many of Australia's most respected Aboriginal artists. Artists such as Judy Napangardi Watson, Dorothy Napangardi, Elizabeth Naomi, Ningara Naparula and Wallingura Napananka are rated amongst Australia's most collectible by Australian Art Collector magazine. All these artists are represented overseas in major galleries and collections.
And I think that's really what Aboriginal people like about their paintings, that they can pass on knowledge and that it won't be lost, because a lot of their knowledge is very important. Every Aboriginal region has a completely, virtually different style of art. If you were to go to the Kimberleys, some people still use natural ochres. They actually put sand in their paint to try and give you the understanding of how rough their areas are. There's also, you might go to the opposite side towards Queensland and they paint with stippled brushes and try to explain to you that the grasses are hard and tough and that it's not a flat, smooth environment. You then go to Arnhem Land where they still paint a great deal with natural ochres, crushing up their rocks, adding a bit of glue. And in my early days we used resin from the trees and they still paint with the natural ochres. They're advancing a little bit, but they're really happy to be still using, and they use a paintbrush which is made out of a fine piece of grass. Then when you get down to the centre, they a lot of circles and a lot of lines and things trying to explain to you where and what you're coming from and to and things like that. It's definitely about colour today and it's just evolving so fast.
In June 2006, the Washington Post reported on new and emerging Aboriginal artists saying they have loosened traditional forms. Their works are still based on historical images and ideas, maps of watering holes or the retelling of dreamings, which are the creation myths of Aboriginal culture. But more recent paintings from the 1990s and early 21st century function in another important way. They are explorations of colour and gesture that sit comfortably in the Western tradition of non-narrative painting.
I think even though I've been in Aboriginal art a long time and I thought that back in the early days it was the beginning of Aboriginal art, I really think that today is only the beginning of Aboriginal art. Aboriginal art has certainly proved to be a good investment over the years. Aboriginal art has appreciated, and pretty much all good Aboriginal art, if you buy a piece like shares, if you buy a piece of art by a reputable artist and that artist has been growing on a regular basis, then that art is pretty much guaranteed to continually just go up and up in price, even if it's slow.
Mason gallery artists are present in major public and private art collections in Australia and around the world, including Pride of Place at Paris's Musée Branly. George Wood-Jungerai is a winner of the prestigious Wynne Prize for Landscape Painting at the Art Gallery of New South Wales, alongside emerging new talent such as Lorna Brown Napananka, Thomas Japaljari and Bobby West Japarula. The gallery is also a member of Art Trade, an organisation that ensures fair trading between Aboriginal artists and dealers. Sotheby's auction house records demonstrate that in less than a decade, the prices fetched for Aboriginal art at auction have increased tenfold. World-renowned Australian art critic Robert Hughes has described it as the last great art movement of the 20th century. Mason Gallery provides unique excellence in their collection, with consultation and advice on both corporate and private collections, nationally and overseas. Aboriginal art is highly sought after and an excellent investment for any collector. Authentication, experience and a unique eye for the finest work is provided to you by Masons.